So yeah, so the base is something that I put the base together during the play testing. So I've built the base mostly this way before, but I actually spent quite a lot of time during the play testing, essentially putting together a base that I would want a guild to live in. So it's a large boy. So when I started the base on this time around, this is the garage. So we'll see inside the garage later on, but this is the entrance for all the buggies and the bikes. This tower was kind of a bit of a folly, but I've actually put water tanks in it now, so technically it's the water tower. We got a nice little, and then we got the walkway, which I didn't want to waste the walkway space, so the walkway space has the wind traps over the top, and that's where our power sits, just under there. We've got these 3 large hangars. The hangars all house 2 scout ornithopters each, and I think I'm like 90% certain that will be big enough for a carry-all when we do get round to it. I need to expand this hangar out, but at the moment it's the perfect size for an assault ornithopter, but I'm probably going to make that one bigger. This is our water temple. That will become more apparent in a bit, but this is the water temple. The shape of this kind of, I took the inspiration from when I used to play Rust, using all the triangle pieces to kind of make something that was a bit more circular. So that's the water temple, so we'll get to that. And then, yeah, this is the Frank. I'm trying to show people the base, mate. Come on, Frank. And then, yeah, this is the front area, which I've had to adjust a little bit, because obviously we've now got the giant sandworm statue. So yeah, so that's the outside. What is he doing? What? Oh, he's eating a spaceship. So yeah, so that tower, I'll be honest, that tower, probably not really much point in showing the interior. The interior of that is just a spiral staircase with water storage in it. So probably not that interesting. These little outside bits were just kind of like little social areas where you can stand even when the storms are coming in, and you're not gonna, so you can be outdoors without worrying about getting heat stroke or anything. And so yeah. So this is coming into the garage. Garage is a large room. It's got a gallery running around the outside up the top. This is my bike display, because I thought this was a really good use of resources. But so we got an Atreides, a default, and a Harkonnen bike up there. So that's nice. This is the storage for dropping off the loot when people come back. And then we just got like some bits for just some of the fabricators. You need to drop off your blood, you go and do that there. This space is just for the buggies. So we got a nice bit there. This storage is for equipment. So while that is for loot over there, this is for equipment over here. A little bit of a fabrication area if you need to be doing anything with the vehicles or with your equipment. Got a little back door out the back. This is actually a double high door. This is a double high door, but I was able to clip it into the ground, so I thought it made quite a nice... It works quite nicely as a smaller door as well, but it's actually clipped into the floor. So yeah, so this is the garage. I do want to replace the lights at some point, but at the moment that's the way they are. Actually, wait, no. Do you know what? I've built this a certain way. We should stop using grappling hooks. We should start... So then, we've got a ramp up here, which brings us to just a bit of a communal area. I still need to finish this off. I want to put more decorations in it. Like seating areas and stuff, just to make it look like somewhere where people can chill out. And then we've got Donkey. Weapon and equipment fabrication is like the advanced stuff is going to go here. And then I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this little overhang at the moment. I kind of wanted it to look a little bit like a control center from the outside. So depending what we can do with the furniture sets, I might try and look like this is an area which is, you know, managing, like almost like an air traffic control tower, but for vehicles, is kind of what I want to do with that, but I don't have the furniture for it at the moment. This room was, oh sorry, still is a water room, but eventually all of this is going to get moved out because this roof is going to get expanded up, and this is where we're probably going to end up putting the large spice refinery. So that's going to change in the future. And we just got a little bit of, this looked nice with the rock formation, so I've tried to make this look like some kind of an office area where you can just have a bit of a chill out, maybe a little bit of a meditation, check on Muad'Dib, see how he's doing. And then we'll come to that area in a bit, but we'll come this way first. So this is going to be our refining area. At the moment this is kind of empty because we want to build the large refineries, but they take up a load of space. So I'm leaving that space for when we have the large refineries. At the moment we've just got these smaller ones here. We can get out on the roof if we need to. So there's those wind traps, and up there's the windmills. And then that was the way we didn't come before. But yeah, so this is the... I'll tell you what, we'll start from outside. Yeah, so this is the main entrance. I just kind of wanted to do something built around the eagle door entrance thing, just make it look a bit more impressive. So then you're presented with this hallway, or meeting area. Is it an antechamber? Something, I don't know. Anyway, then this was meant to look like an officer's space, so you know, you've got to go and talk to them. Officers need to have a desk, and then the officer obviously gets their own... An officer gets their own quarters, very spacious, very luxurious. Another Muad'Dib. So the officers get their own quarters, which, you know, could put more stuff in here, just haven't yet. And then tried to make a bit of a feature out of the water, with more donkey statues, because they just fit in places and they're illuminated, which is lovely. I'm going to put more stuff on that table. More donkey statues. I have not put myself a desk yet, but technically this is my little office space, little office quarters. On my little library corner here, because why not? You know, obviously. As soon as the door opens. In here, this serves zero purpose to the base. Like a lot. When I build a base, I like a base to be functional, but I also like the idea of it being kind of like looking like it could be a POI. So just behind these windows, I've done some illumination and actually used some of the Harkonnen pieces. So some of the Harkonnen pieces exist back here, so it just kind of looks like underground electrics and piping going on. And then just, yeah. Why not? Why? Who doesn't need a hologram? Who doesn't need a hologram in their base? This is going to be a social area. I've just not finished it off yet. But then we've got high ceilings going up. So yeah, this is meant to be some kind of a social area when it goes on. The refining area is just beyond this wall, and then we just got this tower, which, yeah. So when we came into the refining area before, if we carried up these stairs, that just goes around the back. But this tower goes all the way up. These are the hangar levels. We'll cover those in just a second. Then up on this floor, again, because I have access to both building sets, I kind of wanted to use the building sets a bit more. And while this is predominantly an Atreides building set, so like all of this looks like Atreides, and then when you get through here, I thought this was a decent way to separate this. So this is all Harkonnen building set now. And again, because it all kind of looks like piping and electrics, I figured it worked well for basements or attics. So the power is up here, and if we need to put more power generation in, that's what will happen here. This is just a back balcony, just depending on which way you want to go around the base. Yeah, just a back balcony. Nothing much more to say about that. And then we saw before, that's just the hangar bay. Slowly but surely I'm putting out furniture stuff. I've just not got around to doing all the furniture. And then this bit, I had a bit of spare space. So I wanted to create something that goes down to that social area. But I kind of, again, because I want to make it look like it could be a POI, the officers have their officer quarters, but other people are going to stay here. So just turn this into a little bit of a feature. And then just put in some small bedrooms for the non-officers. You know, if they're staying over, they need somewhere to sleep. So yeah, not quite finished, but that's most of what I need to do now is just furniture stuff, just to make it look a bit more lived in. And then the final piece is the water temple. You can either walk into the water temple from outside, and then we've got this big tower. We've got the bits around the outside, which these do look more impressive at night because they've got various lighting going on. You don't totally see it all during the day. But so this is the outside of the water temple. The interiors of the water temple I kind of need to finish off as well. Like there's nothing here. But I'm thinking of just doing things like, you know, having seating areas and whatnot. Then central piece. Central piece for the water area. Again, we've got a little bit of underground electrics and piping I've just put behind a wall to make it look more interesting. But yeah, so this is the temple, which when you come into the middle, we've got all the death stills. Bit of lighting going on at the top. Mostly decoration just for this entire temple is for these 3 death stills. So I tried to make it look like a place of remembrance that people might come to when someone's put in a death still, because the water is being returned. Pleasing the maker. Except for on this side, which is just a box where we cram the bodies, and so the bodies get crammed in there. And that's the water temple. And that's it. That's the whole base. There is a back entrance, but it's literally just a door that looks a bit fancy. And yeah, that's the whole thing. There you go. So what do we need to do next? I need a building tool, don't I? I need to get rid of the... so your back entrance is... We could go with the back entrance being shite. We could. But there you go. Just... I have, and I realise that this... being said this way, but I think my back entrance is beautiful. Take that as you will. Oh, now it's getting nighttime. You can kind of see how I've got the illumination going on the temple. So there are areas of it that are illuminated, which just shows up a bit better in the dark. But yeah, this is just a really fancy way of showing this door. Like, there is no real purpose to all this. Just a really fancy way of showing the door. And I've also made sure we can still access this stuff. I know on like the public servers, it's kind of it's a bit of a faux pas. To build around the water places, but we're all in the same guild here, and also I've made sure that in this little bit of islands that we're on, half of the water is completely accessible from the outside. About half the water is inside here that I've used to make features. Half of it is inside for like features and stuff, and as I say, we're all basically on the same team on this server, so it's not an issue. And equally, there are areas where the public can access the water, like the actual base water system it's possible to access that. So yeah, I know it's a bit of a faux pas, but here it's not. It doesn't really matter. I need to build